This is Nomadic Addicts Outdoor Podcast.
Where the beer is cold
and the pistachios are hard. Let's tell our tales.
We'll get right into it. If you want to just jump in, talk a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you're out of, what you do.
I'm from eclectic small town called Eclectic, Alabama. It's I don't know, about 30 minutes north of Montgomery, and ain't much to do around here except really hunt and all. And I mainly deer and turkey hunt. I've been going since I was my dad was taking me in the woods when I was like 3, and was killing deer and turkey with me at like by age 4. So I've been hooked on it since then. I actually called up the first turkey I ever called up was when I was 5. We were sitting there, it was a windy day, and there's not much gobbling going on, and I asked him, I said, can I call? And I grabbed the box call, and I did it real fast like I saw on TV. And he snatched the call from me. He's like, if you ain't gonna do it right, don't do it at all. And about that time, my gobbler came running in and killed him. And he just like looked at me like, oh my God. And then, like I said, I've just been hooked on it. And then I killed my first deer and turkey when I was 12. I killed both of them in the same year. I actually killed my first deer on Christmas Eve morning. And it was the first time my dad ever let me sit by myself. And then a few months later, because that was in December, a few months later, I killed my first turkey. And I actually, at first, I enjoyed deer hunting more, but then I killed my first turkey, and it was over with then. So
gotta love it.
Yeah, it's that's definitely turkey hunting's that's my passion. That's what I love to do. Well, I guess It's not a passion. Like Masio says, it's not a passion. I'm obsessed.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. And you said on your podcast you had the first episode of what were you saying?
Turkeys for Tomorrow. They kind of like they hadn't announced it yet, and then I did a podcast with Ron Jolly and Jeff Sherwood, because I reached out to Jeff Sherwood and to do a podcast with him, and he was like, you know what, I've got something a little bit better than that. And he kind of told me Ron had something in the works, and so we did a podcast with them, and kind of didn't really announce it on that first one. And then we did another one with him, and there's another guy, I can't think of what his name is. He's like huge into duck hunting. I'll try to see if I can find his name. But so then they came on, and they kind of announced it, kind of explained what it was going to be. And so that was pretty cool. I probably should have put more into my podcast and kept doing them, but we had just hadn't been long, had my son, and then I ended up not long after that going through a divorce, so it kind of put everything on the back burner. But it was cool to be able to talk with those guys and kind of put that out there. I didn't realize how big it was going to be. Now it's it's as big as NWTF almost.
Yeah. You ever think you're going to get back into doing your own podcast there? It was the Podunk podcast.
Yeah, I actually talked with my friends the other day, and we kind of talked about getting it back or doing some episodes and all. I've got, I guess, a little bit more stability now that I could probably do it more. So I'm steadily trying to find this guy.
No, you're good. You're good. It is a lot of people. I don't know. When we first got into the podcast thing, we're like, yeah, it's not that bad. And then we got into it, started doing it and everything. We're like, wow, yeah, this soaks up a lot of time, our time, a lot of other people's time. And like, well, trying to schedule stuff and get everything to work and be on the same page with everybody. It's pretty difficult.
Oh yeah. And I should have probably put more into mine. I really didn't edit mine. I would like literally record it and then,
just turn it right out.
Yeah. I don't know which way I can do it. And there was, golly, when I first started, there were some of them I was literally just recording with, I think I would call them off my wife's phone and then record it with my phone. And then I figured out how to send out I guess a request for them to come on and it kind of be recorded through the app. But
Yeah.
it took me a while to figure that out.
Yeah, it's a pretty big learning curve to all this crap, especially
all the technology and everything.
Yeah.
And then like the biggest learning curve I found is making time for this, making time for everybody, cutting stuff out of your day-to-day life to devote it to this and like put your all into this podcast and try to get it the best that it can be.
And neither one of us are very tech savvy at all. So this has taken quite a bit of learning to be able to do it.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't do much of like the editing. I know you can like, put music in there and all that. I never learned how to do none of that. I'm trying to look and see, because it should have been on one of my episodes.
So now like turkey hunting side and stuff, do you travel around to do any of that, or you stay pretty local for that?
Pretty much local. I've got a couple of invites out of state that I need to take up. It's tough with my job because I work for a pool company, so during spring we're pretty busy and you can't take that much time off. But I've got a couple places that I'd like to go to this year. I got an invite to Oklahoma with a buddy of mine, and he's got a place in Missouri too that's not far from him. And I want to kill a Rio. I want to start working on my slam. Osceola is my dream. That's where I really want to go. But
yeah,
I travel.
You ever thought about getting into like an oscillated hunt? I mean, I know that's far fetched, but
no. Well, I mean, if I had the opportunity, I'd probably do it. But it's not. It doesn't really. I don't know. There's some weird looking turkeys.
yeah, they are.
But here, that guy's name was Jim Ronquest. It was that was he put out Turkeys for Tomorrow. He's a real I guess he's mainly known for his duck hunting, but he does a good bit of turkey hunting too.
No, how many turkeys can you kill in Alabama?
You can kill 4 a year.
4 a year. Holy cow! You guys must have a hell of a lot better population than we got.
Well, they say it's down. It's tough to say because I can go some places. Like one year, I killed a turkey one morning, and we heard 12 different turkeys gobble that morning. There were 6 gobblers with the one I killed. But then you go to some places and it's just not like that. I mean, I guess it varies. But the limit used to be 5 a year. So,
golly. And then how many? We talked to somebody else from Alabama down there too. But how many deer can you get a year?
all right, so you can kill as many does as you want. You used to kill 2 does a day, but now you can only kill a buck and a doe a day. And then you get 3 buck tags a year. One of them has to have 4 on each, or 4 on one side.
Oh shit!
Wow. You ever filled all your buck tags?
I have. Let's see, I killed 2 last year, and then I killed 3 the year before.
Yeah.
And then I've tagged out on turkeys. It'd be nice to tag out on deer and turkey in one year. I've never done that.
That would be pretty wild. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't realize that there was as big a deer in Alabama until like I think I started following you on Facebook because of the memes that you come out with and all that. They are the only reason I'm pretty sure I still have Facebook. And then I didn't realize how big a deer you guys actually got down there. Like you kill some freaking giants.
Yeah, I've killed 2 real good ones. And then like I said, I was always kind of big more into turkey hunting. And then 2 years ago, I shot that big 9-point, and I was like, okay, this works, because I used to just shoot whatever I saw. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, if I went with somebody somewhere and they told me not to shoot, whatever, I'd listen to that. But it really didn't. I don't know. It didn't do nothing for me. Then I killed a big one. I was like, okay, this is what the hype's about. So now I'm kind of changed gears. I'll still every now and then, like last year, I shot a deer that I probably shouldn't have shot. The year before, I shot one that I probably shouldn't have shot, but I'll get out of that eventually, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't. Do you want to get into the story, or I don't, or well, the one you don't want to talk about, so we'll leave that one out of it. But
Yeah, he's not getting there yet.
You want to talk about?
He'll get aired out whenever I let the air out of him.
There you go. I don't blame you there. I'd keep that one pretty close to your chest. But you want to talk about that big 9-point you killed, and then the other one, because you said that they were kind of in the same spot too.
Yeah. So I'll start from the very beginning because I'm pretty sure I seen this deer. My cousin had 20 acres, and there was some land behind him that was about 40 acres, and he ended up buying it. And I went over there 4th of July to hang out with him, and he was like, "You ought to get on the side by side, go back there and check it out." So I rode back there and was just riding down the main road through there. It was getting back toward the back, and then all of a sudden, 5 bucks in velvet, rack bucks, come running across the road, and I went, "Oh my God!" And so I put a camera up not long after that, and started getting pictures of him. And I was like, "Holy cow!" And then I looked back at some of my older pictures, and I had pictures of him the previous years. You could tell he had blew up that year. And so I started hunting him, and didn't I guess that was the only time I'd seen him on hoof until I shot him. But I'd get pictures of him. I'd get to work, and he would show up during the daytime. I'd get up in the middle of the night to go pee, and would come back, and he would be in there feeding. So it was like we were like on a schedule, kind of like it never failed. If I had to get up in the middle of the night to go pee, he'd be on camera. And so he didn't show up in the daylight a whole bunch, but he was regular. He stayed there, and he had disappeared for a while. So I started hunting a different deer. That deer. The deer I went in to hunt had showed up the day before like 3 times in the daytime, and I was off watching a football game like an idiot. But so I got up the next morning, and my son was going back to, it was January 2nd, and they gave us 2 days off because New Year's was on a Sunday, and my son was going back to his mom's, but my mom was going to pick him up. That way she could pick him up for my mom. And she was like, "What time do you want me to get him?" And I was like, "Well, I'd like to hunt tomorrow, but I said, I'll let you, if you'll come and get him, I'll let you sleep in a little bit, and you just meet me at the house at like 6:30. So she meets me, and I leave, and I go over there. And when I walk in, my camera was actually dead. And when I walked in, I jumped the deer, heard it blow, took off running, and then all of a sudden, boom, the neighbor shot. And I went, "You got to be kidding me." I just jumped this deer and run him to the neighbor, and they killed him. So I was sitting there just looking, trying to figure out which way this deer was coming in exactly and all, getting ready. And then all of a sudden, my other camera went off, and there was a even nicer deer on camera over there. It wasn't the one I ended up killing. So I jumped up, ran over there to the road. There's a road that comes in, and you can see it, same spot where those deer run across the road 4th of July. And so I was standing there, and I was looking, and I couldn't see nothing. I couldn't see him on camera. And I was like, "Well, I know he's right here in the area. He's got to be within hearing distance." So I just pulled out my grunt call, grunted a few times, and I sat there, and I don't know, felt like almost instant, but I'm sure it was a minute or two. I heard something walking, and there's kind of a little field right there. That's where they it's like a loading deck for when they log the place. And I looked across it, and I could see a deer coming. I couldn't tell much about it, so I didn't know if it was a good deer or what. And then it disappeared, and I was like looking, trying to see if it got past me without me seeing him or whatever. So pulled my grunt call out again, and I grunted, and it was like he was, I guess, right there on the edge of the field. There's a little dip in it that you can't see, and then he raised up, and I seen his rack, and I was like, "Oh God!" So I put it on him and shot, and nothing happened. Like I didn't see deer run off, I didn't see a deer flopping, nothing. So I took off running across the field, and I got over there to him, and I seen the little crab claw he had as a 9th point, And when I did, when I saw that and I knew what deer he was, I went hollering. I'm sure the neighbor probably freaked out. He heard a gunshot, and then all of a sudden somebody started hollering. But I mean, I lost it. Picked him up, and I was like, "Holy cow!" And I called the first person I called was my best friend Mason, and I was like, man, I just shot him. He said, "Are you sure you hit him?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "I'm sitting here holding him." Yes. He said, "You sure it's him?" I said, "Yes, it's him." I said, "Come help me get this thing out." And it just tickles me because he's killed a bunch of big deer. That's his thing, is deer hunting. And I was getting all these deer on camera, and he's like, "Don't shoot anything unless it's that one." And he actually took me to his place that year, and I killed a big 6-point, and which was at the time the biggest buck I'd ever killed. So I kind of owe credit to him because he was coaching me through and telling me, "Hey, don't lay off on him. Just shoot this one, hunt smart, and shoot that one." And I mean, I put in a lot of time hunting. We got off a good bit for Christmas that year, and it was cold. I mean, it was like 15 degrees. And one morning it was 15 degrees for like 20-mile-an-hour winds. And the spot I wanted to hunt, you couldn't really climb. You had to hunt it from the ground. And I sat on the ground in 15-mile-an-hour winds, or 20-mile-an-hour winds, 15 degrees, just freezing to death, and didn't even see a deer. I think I saw 3 deer that week of Christmas. And like I said, he had disappeared off the camera for, I think, at least a week, maybe 2. And then, he showed up and I killed him. I had him one morning. I was sitting in the blind, and my cousin and them have a big bloodhound, and I have to get him put up before I go over there, or he'll follow me to the stand. Well, I got there that morning and he wasn't there. I called for him and everything. I said, "Well, he's out roaming." So I went and got in the blind. I got in the blind, and all of a sudden I looked down at my phone, and the deer is standing at the corn, and it's still dark. I'm like, another 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. It's going to be light enough, and I'm going to shoot you. I'm sitting there nervous, got my gun already propped up, ready. And I hear something coming in behind me, and I'm like, man, here comes some more deer. And then about that time, he started barking, and I went, oh my God. I jumped into that blind, and I started chasing that dog. And I was like, well, that's it. I blew it. That deer's, and it was a while before he came back after that. But I was like, golly, I just had that messed up for me. And I was like, well, probably not going to kill him. Like I said, it took two or 3 weeks before he showed back up. And he didn't even show up on the camera. He showed up so I could shoot him. I was still in disbelief about that for a while, how that all went down.
Yeah. Do you think that was the first day he showed back up, or do you think he was still kind of in the area, just kind of laying off of that spot?
Either that, or he was with a doe or something. He was still. I don't think he left. There was another place a couple miles away that a friend of mine, he had him on camera some. He actually had him in the crosshairs, I think, either that year or the year before, and he let him go because he's hunting a bigger deer. Thank God. But but he was, once I started feeding real good, he stayed. In which I have a couple that, like the one I'm going to be hunting this year. He tends to stay right there. He stayed last year, so I'm hoping he's going to do the same. But I have a couple that I get on camera this time of year, and then they're gone. But I also have some that show up later on once the rut hits that are not. They're not. I've never seen them before, but they'll become regular and stay. Yep. Or there's some that I get on camera one day and then never see them again.
Yeah. We get a lot of random crap like that too. But so that was, what year was that? The big 9?
That would have been 2022. No, that was 23. It was January 23.
Okay. And then, so then 20. When did you get the other one? Your 8 or that was last year. You got the 8, right?
Yeah, I got him in 2023 too. I got him in November 2023. In fact, whenever I picked that deer, the 9-point up from the taxidermist, this was my first ever shoulder mount. I dropped the 8-point off like a week later.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, taxidermist must love you right now.
I've sent him pictures of the other deer, and I'm like, hey, just get ready. I said, I'm gonna be bringing him in. I ain't gonna go into detail, but yeah, I'm hoping that pans out, and it's right there in the same place I was getting pictures of both deer
Yeah.
that I killed, and so the 8 point, I got picture. I actually tried to hunt him the same year I killed the 9. I was trying to hunt him that same season, and ended up shooting another buck and had me tagged out, so I couldn't hunt him anymore. And he was showing up every day during the daytime, and I was like, Jesus, man. I was like, this is killing me. But thank God I let him go because he got bigger, or had the chance to let him go because he got bigger. And so I put my cameras out and I started getting pictures of him, and I knew immediately which one it was him because he's got a white mark around his eye, like a real big white mark. Actually, I think it's on both sides, but and then his rack just, it looked similar except he gotten wider and thicker, and he actually lost a point. He had a split brow tine right here that come out below his brow tine, and he lost that for some reason. Um,
Hmm.
but so I started getting pictures of him. He was showing up in the daytime a good bit, and then all of a sudden he disappeared. It's like he went hard horn and then he disappeared, which a bunch of them will do it. And I was like, man, please. I was like, because he was a deer. I have pictures of him that summer that I killed the summer of the season before. But then it was like gun season all hit and he disappeared. And then he came back during the rut.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, man, I'm not going to be able to kill this deer in the rut, whatever. And then it was opening day of gun season. Me and my son hunted that morning. Can't remember if we hunted that afternoon. I think we did. Anyways, we didn't see a deer. And so me, him, and my ex-girlfriend went in to hunt him, or just to hunt. And I was like, I just want to shoot. I'm either going to let her shoot a doe or, whatever. I just want to shoot a deer with my kid because we never killed one together.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so we get there, check the camera. There's nothing there. And this, like I said, this deer been gone for 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. And we're walking in and we jump some deer. And then we get up there to where I shot that deer the year before. And the deer I shot the year before he come up to my left. But I'm looking straight this way, looking at the corn pile. And I look down there, check with my gun, with my scope. There's nothing down there. So we keep walking to go get the blind. It's like the blind's right off the side of the road. So we walk another 10 steps and I look up again and I'm like, that's a deer standing there. So it's about, I don't know, 120 yards away. So I put my scope back up and I looked and I seen his rack and I went, oh my God. And he's just standing there looking at us. So I start putting the crosshairs on him and I'm kind of doing circles. I'm like, gosh, you got to get it together. And I'm free-handed. I don't have anything to prop on. And so I was like, all right, get it together. And I got it on his chest and I squeezed the trigger. And it took him a second to run across the road. And I was like, I said, I'm pretty sure I hit him if it took him that long to get across the road, because if I'd have missed it, he'd have hauled out of there immediately. So I go down there and there's a bunch of white hair on the ground. I'm like, no, all I did was like skin his belly or something like that. And I start looking, I can't find any blood. I walked off into the woods looking for more blood and kind of looked and see if I could see him laying down anywhere or whatever. And I had to walk right past him, made a big loop, came back out to the road, and then I found some blood. And I said, all right, we're going to back out. So I went back, got them two. We went to the truck, waited on my cousin to get there. He gets there, and we go back up there, and we start finding more and more blood. And then it stopped. There wasn't much blood because I shot him in the chest, and there wasn't no exit.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there trying to find some more blood, and all of a sudden my son goes, there's some blood, Daddy. He's 4 at this time. And I was like, not now, son. That's not time. This is not time to be playing. And my cousin goes, no, look right there. And I swear to God, it was a drop smaller than, I mean, just like a raindrop on, and we're in pines. So it's hard. It's hard to blood trail the deer in pines unless they're just gushing. And there, I mean, just one little bitty drop on a leaf. And I was like, holy crap. And we picked it up from there and ended up, walking up to him and finding him. So we get up there to him. And I'm looking at him and all of a sudden my son goes, "Hey, Daddy, here's some more blood." And I'm like, well, we're not worried about finding any more blood. But so, but he was tickled. He was like, oh my gosh, I mean, we'd never killed a deer before, and we killed a deer that big, my second biggest buck ever. And so we were tickled about it. And we went, that was in November. We went, I guess it was end of December, maybe the 1st of January, somewhere right there. It was the day of the Alabama-Michigan game. And we went, and I missed a really, really, really good 8-point. I mean, just he was bigger than, he's close to being bigger than the other buck. But I missed him. And I go down there and I'm looking for blood and I can't find nothing. And my son looks at me and goes, "When are we gonna get the deer, Daddy?" And I was like, "I don't think we're getting this one, buddy." I said, "Looks like I missed." I said, "I'm sorry." He said, "Yeah, you're right. You are sorry." And I just
Holy crap.
Kick me while I'm down. But
Oh man,
he's a mess. He's hooked into it. Every time I show him a picture of a buck on camera, he's like, "That's the one I'm gonna shoot, Daddy. That's my deer."
he's calling you out now.
He's putting claim to deer. He's ready to shoot one. We're gonna try to get him on one this year. I've got that place, and I got some friends with some places that we're gonna try to get him on one. Just hopefully not the one that I'm trying to hunt, but I don't know if I could let him shoot that one.
Oh golly, yeah.
If we could shoot at the same time, just for safe measures, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the moment I'd let him try, but I'd be over there. Oh, be like Alabama lining up, kick field goal, just look away.
Does he show kind of the same interest with turkey hunting too?
Oh yeah, he's obsessed with it. We've got some turkeys right behind the house in the pasture. My landlord won't even let his son hunt them because he said they're just, they're kind of like pets or whatever. And they really, I mean, we'll be down there hitting golf balls and they'll come out in the pasture and won't pay no mind to us. And I've had them strutting in my backyard and all. And he said Silas is the only one allowed to shoot it. And he reminds him every time he sees him, he said, "I'm the only one to shoot that turkey, right?" He said, yeah. So he's dead set. He's going to kill that turkey this year. I was going to let him shoot this past year, and I bought him a Stevens 410, but he couldn't reach the trigger. But he should grow enough this year to be able to reach the trigger and shoot it. So I was kind of upset because I was like, man, I thought these were made for kids. They're not. They're not kid-sized gun. There's another one, I think Savage makes it, if I'm not mistaken, and it's a little bit more, it's shorter and everything. I should have got that one, but I didn't know at the time. I just always heard those Stevens 410s. And so we're going to get him some TSS and get him a red dot put on there.
Stevens.
Yeah. That's what I ended up buying my daughter too. That Stevens 301 or something they call it, the 410. With the choke in it and everything. I got the TSS for her and that. But like you said, her shooting it was just, I mean, she could shoot it, but you could tell she wasn't comfortable shooting it. It's kind of bigger for her.
Yeah, it is. And they a good buddy of mine, Devin Duncan, he's big into guns and building turkey guns and all, and I was calling him about it and all, and I was like, they not like make something where you can adjust this to make it shorter or whatever? And he said, no. He said, what's so bad is I think Mossberg has it's either an automatic or a pump 410 that's like, made for a kid. And I was like, gosh, I wish I'd have seen that because he did, I grew up shooting a single shot. My first gun was a 20 gauge single shot, and it was tough squirrel hunting and everything. I learned to put bullets between my fingers to be able to be real quick with a second shot, which I'll eventually get him like a pump or something like that. But and that gun's mainly gonna be set up to hunt turkeys. So, but with mine, I deer hunted, turkey hunted, squirrel hunted, everything with it. I've never killed a deer or a turkey with that gun. I've killed a pile of coons, squirrels, rabbits, dove, a bunch of stuff, but I've never killed a deer or a turkey with it. And I think I'm going to try to kill a turkey with it this year.
That'd be pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
So-
down there, Silas, how old do the kids have to be to hunt?
I don't know. I don't even know if there is an age.
Right? Because what
It's 12 here, I think.
I forget who I just watched though on YouTube. The kid was 3 years old and he shot his first longbeard and he was just so jacked up. I'm like, holy shit.
A lot of places, I think it's a competency thing. Like as long as you're under,
competent to hold it.
yeah, as long
and
as
kill it.
your parents there with you and everything, you can. But I think they have to use your tag, which is whatever. But I think that's how a lot of places do it.
I don't know if that's the case here. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. 'Cause I ain't gonna let him use all my tags. I mean, I love him to death. I gotta kill one too. But no, seriously, I'd let him. He could shoot up all my tags for turkeys. As long as I'm there and I get to watch everything go down,
Yep.
I'm happy about it. So, but he's hooked. He'll go outside every morning, and owl hoot, thinking he's gonna make one gobble because during the spring he could go out there and owl hoot and make them gobble. So now he just thinks you're supposed to do it every day. But
That's pretty neat. You got anything that you usually carry with you, or a good luck charm, or a good luck like ritual, or like shutting the door 3 times or something? Like what? Would you got anything like that?
I've got a pair of Nomad underwear that's in Bottomland that seems to do pretty good, but then sometimes it doesn't. So I'm like, I don't know about that. But if I ever get in a slump during turkey season, I'll shave down to nothing but a stash, and that stash will
Do the trick.
do the trick.
Killing stash.
Yeah, but in one year I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come out the door in a stash, and I did, and then I didn't kill a turkey till like the last week of the season. I was like, never doing that again.
Yeah, you got like a crazy turkey hunting story or anything like that? Something wild?
And how are the snakes down there? You get right into snakes when you're turkey hunting?
I don't think I've ever seen. Well, I can't say I've never seen a poisonous one. I got a buddy of mine that's got a place that's in the swamp, and we can see a cottonmouth every time we go. There's kind of ditches off the side of the road, and you look, and they'll be laying there or whatever. But a lot of times, I'll maybe see a black runner or something like that. But I've had folks that kill rattlesnakes, everything else turkey hunt, but I don't hardly ever see them.
Are them black runners the ones that like stand up and come at you?
No, they'll run off fast. Like that's why they get their name, because they're so fast. But they're scared to death of humans. I saw one the other day going to get one of my cameras and moving it. I was walking down there and hey dudes, he took off running. I was like, oh, maybe this ain't so smart. But
you guys got pigs down there?
Oh yeah, we do. Which so the county that I hunt in, well, I won't say the county, but Eclectic, I bet you there may be 10 hogs in the county there, if any. But you go to there's some up in a place called Titus, or there's some on the river in Wetumpka, the Coosa River. And then you go to like Coosa County, they've got them. Montgomery County's got them. Macon, Bullitt, all those. There's, a lot of them places are eat up with them.
Yeah. You ever get into killing any of them, or have you never done it?
I've killed one pig. I had a buddy of mine take me to his place, and I killed one. We were deer hunting, and it was right at dark, and I could hear something coming. And I'm looking out the shooting house, like, man, this sounds like it's right on top of me, but I can't see. And then finally, I peeked out and looked, and there's a big old black hog that had just walked into the green field, and it was getting dark. He was black. And somehow I managed to get a bullet in him and I killed him, but that's the only one I've ever killed. I've got some friends that kill a pile of them, but I just, like I said, I don't have them on my place, so I don't ever get to really hunt them a whole lot.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'll go to a place and they're like, man, we're loaded with hogs. You're probably gonna see one, and then I never see one. I'm like, man, this sucks. And then I like I said, I finally killed that when I was I was like, well, at least I can mark that off the list.
Yeah.
But they're tough. I shot him pretty much right behind the shoulder with a sub mag at like 50 yards, and he probably still ran 200 yards before he died.
Wow. Yeah, that'll do it. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that 7 mag. I've seen some stuff. While I shot a deer last year with it, which I've got him on camera. He's got a big growth on him, but he made it. And I shot one other deer that got away, but the rest of them you can pretty much hit them, and you're either gonna get a second shot or it's gonna kill them. One of the two. It's gonna knock them down enough to where they can't do much.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember the bullets I was using the one year, but I was shooting a 308, and if I didn't hit any bone with it, it would zip right through and just leave pinholes, and it always freaked me out after that.
Yeah, I mean, if it goes well, it's one thing for it to go in there, do the damage or whatever. If it's zipping through, if it kills a deer or whatever. But I need a blood trail. I need a red carpet laid out.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know about up there, but we get some thick stuff down here, like some stuff a dog wouldn't go through.
Yeah, we got a lot of
We
thick
got
shit
some
here
shit
too.
like that.
You get into bow hunting as much as rifle and stuff?
I'm a big bow hunter till rifle season comes in. By then, I'm so aggravated. I've only killed a handful of deer on my bow. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in it, but I mean, I enjoy it, especially that time of year, because all the deer are calm. They're not pressured. I mean, it's, kind of the sights, the sounds, the smell of bow season, excites me a good bit. But I get tired of deer not coming in the range, or me missing one, or shooting one not finding that. So when gun season comes in, I'm like, all right, we're evening the playing field, and I don't know, it's tough down here. It's hot, and it's so thick. Because my place, I don't really have any wide open places. I've got some of those roads that go through the pines and all, but for the most part, it's surrounded by cutover and just old stuff that's been cut years ago that they never replanted. So you got to kind of get over a corn pile and cut you some lanes through there to shoot. But it's still, like I said, it's fun. Anything that's going to get me in the woods, I'm willing to do.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree with that. How long is your guys' deer season down there?
All right, so we open up. Part of the state opens up October 1st, and I don't know when they go out, but then where I'm at, it's October 15th to February the 10th.
Holy shit!
Holy cow, that's a lot of deer season.
I used to have a job where I could hunt every day, and I just about did, and it would wear you out. The same thing. Our turkey season's like 45 days long, and I would hunt every single day of turkey season. It didn't matter. I was getting up, I was going. But it's kind of nice in a way though, because now turkey season used to come in March 15th. So it was like February 10th, and then you got like a month and 5 days, and then you're back turkey hunting. So, by the end of the season, turkeys are already strutting and gobbling in some places, which everybody says, oh, they're going to be gobbled out. And they do the same thing every year. Yeah. They start gobbling and strutting at the end of January. But like I said, it's nice because there's not that much of a break in between. Like, I hate summertime. Summertime is my least favorite. There's nothing to hunt. There's nothing to do. It's too hot outside. I work outside. I don't want to go be outside when I get off or whatever. So I've always hated summertime.
Especially like June. There's I don't put
nothing.
cameras out or anything. I don't do trail cameras. I don't start putting trail cameras out until like end of July. So like June and July are just, it's hot, it's miserable. There's nothing to do out there. And if you try to go fishing, you get the ever living crap bit out of you by mosquitoes and bugs.
I went fishing with Levi, and we just smoked some backwoods and kept them away fine, but it still doesn't really do the trick. It don't take care of the itch.
Yeah, I think last year I started putting cameras out in July, I think, and I was like, man, the amount of money I was spending on feed and everything, but I got to watch the deer grow up, and that was something I wanted to do. I wanted to, watch them and see how soon it would be before I'd be like, okay, I know that deer, or, whatever, and watching them grow. And like these deer still got like a month worth of growing left to do.
Yep.
So they're fully filled out, and if that's the case, man, I've got a couple of them that are going to be sure enough. Now I know there's still two that haven't showed up yet. One that didn't show up till the rut last year, and then one that was showed up early and then he disappeared, and then he came back during the rut. So I'd love to see both of them two, what they look like.
What they turned into, yeah.
What you're saying is cool, like to be able to build history with a deer and watch them grow, and that's awesome. And then be able to harvest them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I had one time. It was on my ex-wife's family place. They had like 179 acres, and I could just walk out my back door and go hunting. And then I became friends with the neighbor who he leases like 300, maybe 400 acres right next to him. And we became friends, and he gave me keys to shooting houses. Like, hey, just let me know when you're over here or whatever. And I still get to hunt with him a good bit. But I had a deer on camera back there. Her dad, while we were dating, wouldn't let me hunt back there. He said, "This, only family gets to hunt back here." So the first year I hunted back there, I put out some cameras, and I got a picture of a deer in 2000. I think it's 2015. And the old man that's got the land next to them was still getting pictures of him in 2022. And he was an absolute monster. He was tight, but he was thick, and he was tall. And I think I've got, in that time span, I got 2 pictures of him in the daytime. And I seen him one time. It was during bow season, and I was going back to feed, and I looked on the power line, and there was a buck standing there, and he kept turning his head. I said, "What is he looking at?" And I turned around and looked, and I said, "Oh my God, that's him." And I just sighted my rifle in like the day before, because rifle season was coming in soon, and I just took it out of my truck, thankfully, because I would have rolled the window down and put it to him.
Oh God.
He was that big of a deer. Like, I mean, I don't think anybody would have not done that. I mean, he was big, but he was on 1, 2, 3 different people's trail cameras, and one of the places was probably 3 or 4 miles away.
Yeah, so he was a roamer. Yeah.
Yeah, his nickname, and everybody called him this, was Traveler. That's what we called him.
Yeah. Was he comparable to like the one you sent me a picture of, like that big?
Yeah. Here, I'll send you a picture real quick.
My goodness.
He's got to be dead of old age by now. In fact, he had the last year we got him on camera, he had declined a good bit, and that was tough to see. I was like, I'm not used to seeing him like that.
Yeah. Isn't it wild that like bucks survive like that long, being that big, and like they just keep coming back every year? It's like, dude, how are you still alive?
Yeah.
How are you still out here running around?
How does something like that hide?
Exactly.
That's my main thing. I know I've got pictures of that deer right here somewhere. But they, around here, heck, they've got so much food and cover, and so many does, that they really don't have to move.
So your guys' deer density must be pretty crazy down there if you guys can kill like pretty much unlimited does.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of deer down here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see.
That's pretty wild.
Here.
Have a lot of deer like that. Oh my God.
All the leaves already falling, isn't it?
Yeah, our leaves are kind of starting to change a little bit.
It's getting to where the towns are going to start sweeping the roads off. They're so leafy.
Yeah.
Ours are starting to fall too, but I think I think it's gotten so hot they're just dying.
Right.
Sheesh! Look at the mass on that thing.
Come on.
Holy!
I've got
Wow.
I've got some better pictures right here that I'm about to find. I saved them to my phone the other day.
Holy cow!
So we were actually dove hunting on that place, and me and a buddy of mine were, and I went back there. Oh yeah, hold on, I'll send this one too. We were back there dove hunting, and I checked my camera like a week later, and I told my buddy, I said, "We're not dove hunting anymore." So we are done.
Done dove hunt.
So what did you say you do for work, Si?
I work for a pool company. I do repairs, clean pools, stuff like that. And then I do electric work on the side, with my uncle. So
So you're pretty damn busy then all the time doing double dipping like that.
yeah, but I make time. Like we get slow during doing electric work. We get slow during the winter. So I get to deer hunt a good bit, but then we pick back up during the spring. But this past spring, he let me hunt every day or every weekend because I was working so much during the week. I try to like when I have my son, I'll sneak a turkey hunt in before work. In fact, the first one I killed this year, I killed on the third day, and it was before work. And I killed him so early that I had enough time to kill him, get home, take pictures, clean him, and was at work on time.
Oh shit.
How do your guys' turkey seasons? When you hunt, can you hunt all day down there? Or?
Yeah, you can. I killed one at 7:05 one afternoon.
No kidding. That's pretty. Yeah, we got to stop at noon up here, and it's a pain because boy, if they would let you hunt afternoon, you could really get on some birds.
Oh, you get a turkey. You get a turkey gobble past, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock around here. You're going to kill him. Unless you see.
He's got Nathan, my brother there. He's got a saying for that.
9 to noon is the bird's greatest doom.
If you can get him to gobble.
And then I've had one, and I missed him. I missed him twice, but those were both on morning hunts. But I would get on him in the afternoons, and we go back and forth. And I finally ended up killing him. That was one I was talking about at like 7:05. But he'd be gobbling in the afternoons like it's daybreak. I mean, just hammering. But I had a bunch of bad setups on him, and then I finally got him one afternoon. It was at the end of the season, and he had like 6 or 7 hens with him, which that late in the seasons, that's not really normal. But I was like, man, I was sitting because I had to take a pretty long shot on him, and I was like, either I got to take this shot or I can come back and hunt him in the morning before work, but I'm going to be dealing with all these hens. And I ended up taking a shot and shooting him. That was the only turkey I killed that year. And it was funny because I shot him and he tipped over, and I run out there to get him, and he got his legs back under him. And I've always watched people chasing a turkey with a perfectly good shotgun in their hand. And I was like, I'll never be that guy. And I shot from the hip, and I missed him. And when I did, I just threw the gun down and chased him down and move off into some bushes with him. And he come back up, was fixing to get away, and I grabbed him by the throat. And I remember, and this sounds bad, but I remember just looking him in the eyes and squeezing him, and I was like, oh, you don't know what you've done to me. I was like, God, like this feels a little good.
So when you grab a bird after you shoot him, you always grab him by the neck?
Yeah. I've had, like, one of the taxidermists I went to one time said, if you get out there and grab by the neck, pick him up, you can keep from messing up his feathers a good bit. Mm-hmm. So I've done that. I used to always run out there and stomp on their head, but I try to keep them from doing that, from messing up, feathers for pictures or whatever, because I love to take pictures of them. I love to look at them, and I hate a turkey that gets wet or has feathers messed up, whatever. I was like, oh, eats me away.
Boy, they do not look good when they're all wet. They look like a drowned rat.
It's terrible. I've had one that flopped off in the creek one time. I was like, this is terrible.
Have you ever gotten any turkeys mounted?
Yeah, I've got one in here. I wonder if you can change the view of the camera. If not, I can just show him. Let's see. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a sweet mount.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
daddy.
Yeah. He was he had a 11.5-inch beard, 24 pounds. He had 1.5-inch spurs.
Jeez.
And then, all right, so this is one I killed this year. Yeah. Well, so that was one side.
Broke off.
That
Oh
was
my
awesome.
goodness.
1.5 inches.
Whew.
And then that's the 9-point I killed.
Hell yeah.
That's one a buddy of mine killed that turkey. I called it up for him. And that's the 8.
Jeez.
Boy, they got beautiful hides on them. Holy cow.
Yeah, they look really good.
What does a shoulder mount run you there?
Let's see. I think I paid like 7 something for him, but it's because of the pose he's in. And then the other one I paid like $650 or $600 for.
Yeah, look, that's pretty cheap.
My turkey cost me both of them.
One turkey mount?
Yep, he was like right at 1,000.
Holy shit.
But the guy that done it was like the best in the state.
Yeah.
So I got my money's worth. I mean, he looks. You probably can't tell with that with this camera or whatever, but he's unreal. Like the detail, and it's his actual head and everything. Like you can see holes from the pellets that hit him.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, you can actually see both of the marks on those deer where I shot them.
No kidding. The turkeys, are they hard to keep clean when you get them mounted like that?
You just dust them.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. But I'm only like that turkey I showed y'all killed him on the last day. If that other side would have been broke off, I'd have probably got him mounted too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1.5 spurs. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, when I took that one to the taxidermist, he's like, you made a good choice getting it mounted because you can go to Florida and you might top it, but you're not killing anything bigger than that around here. I mean, I'm sure there's a turkey out there somewhere with 2-inch spurs, but the chances of killing one or finding one's, I mean, I guess it can happen, but it ain't gonna happen much.
Yeah, I remember I was a little kid and we went in my dad's friend's house and one time. He's big time turkey hunter up here. Pretty well known, and he had these spurs hanging over this thing by his door. I'll never forget. I went over and I looked at him, and he seen me looking at him. He turned around and he's like, "That's what an 1.5-inch turkey spur looks like." And I remember, like, it's just seeing an 1.5-inch turkey spur is it's unreal looking.
So I've killed several that are 1.25 inches, and you're like, oof. But when you kill one with 1.5 inches, like it's got that extra.
Yeah.
And it gets real pointy at the end. So I'm sure that turkey's where he broke that spur off. It's in some turkey somewhere.
Yeah. You got I think we're running short on time now, but I think do you got anything else you want to say or anything?
Trying to think. I know y'all ask about a crazy turkey hunt.
Yeah, if you got one.
I try to think of one real quick because I've got a couple of them. All right, I'll tell one about me and a buddy of mine. He'd never been turkey hunting, and he's kind of cool hand Luke. Like he doesn't get excited about much. And I told him, I said, if I ever take you turkey hunting, you kill a turkey, I was like, you're gonna lose it. So we went in the first morning. We went to his place, Fish County, and We ended up doubling. It was like we killed these turkeys by like 6:45 that morning. I mean, just right off the roost. And he was all like, you know, tickled and just like losing it a little bit. And I was like, I told you. I was like, but I said, don't get used to this because this is not how it's not how it happens. I said, I've never doubled. This is my first time ever doubling. And I said, you know, it's not going to happen like this all the time, hot off the roost. And so we went back it may not have been the next weekend. It may have been like a week later or, later on, but we go back, went to that place, got on Turkey Goblin, couldn't do much with him. So we left and we went to another place he had and we got over there and I called and called and called, nothing gobbled. So I finally pulled out an owl hoot and I hooted and turkeys gobbled. So we backed up, sat down, started calling, and a bird ended up coming. They were to our left. A bird ended up coming from our right, and he got in there. And I told him to shoot. And whenever he shot, turkey took off flying. So we both shot at him in the air, and he hit the ground. And so we're running down there, and I was like, hell yeah! And I high-fived him. And whenever I high-fived him, the other two turkeys gobbled. And I went, holy crap! So he grabbed it, went back up, and I sat on the tree he sat on, and I started calling, and they kept gobbling. Well, then I could hear them walking. They'd made like a loop and were coming in behind us. I could hear them walking. He said, "You hear that?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Don't move." And he turns his head to look at them. And I'm like, "Oh my god!" So they start putting and started to walk off. But instead of just turning around and walking off backwards, they walked off enough to where they come in and they see my decoy, and they come straight in the decoy, and I killed him. So we're over there looking at them, high five and everything, and also we hear something walking up to us, and we look, and the guy's walking up the fence line to us. He's like, man, he's like, they were all over me, but he's like, I couldn't do nothing with y'all. He's like, y'all crawled them straight off of us. And he's like, they got pretty good beers. And I was like, yeah, they're pretty decent. He said, probably ain't got much on spurs. And I was like, his are inch and a quarter. I said, mine are an inch long. And that's the one that's actually I showed you mounted. And he looked so sad and depressed. And so there was another turkey with the one I killed, and when we killed these two, my buddy looked at me. He said, "I thought you said it didn't happen like this. I thought you said this was hard." I was like, "Okay." We went back the next weekend and killed that other turkey. Same thing. We started at the place first and then come to this place, and he killed him. And he goes, "Man, ain't nothing to this." I said, "Okay." It was like another 2 years before he killed another turkey.
Used up all his luck.
When he killed it, I looked at him. I said, "I told you." And then he ended up killing another one like a week later too. And I was like, you get in a luck streaks. What happened to you? But he's hooked on it now. He loves it.
There you go. That's good. See, you made a turkey hunter out of him now. Now he's dead into it.
Oh yeah. I've had a couple of friends that I've took and they've gotten into it, and there's a few of them that are calling them up on their own now and doing it on their own. I'm like, such a proud dad.
Absolutely. That's pretty neat. No, you got any more questions?
I did have one. Okay, here's one. What's something you could tell somebody that's just pretty much in the dumps for turkey season, not having a winning streak, they're having a losing streak, just losing every battle?
There ain't but one thing to say, and it's just you got to keep going. Like like I said, 2 years ago, I had a season where I killed that one turkey, and I mean, it was I couldn't do anything right. I've had seasons where I couldn't do anything wrong. I've had it where I can't do nothing right. And in fact, 2019, I didn't even kill a turkey, but I still went every day that season. And that's what you got. You got to keep going because it can turn around in a heartbeat. Usually, if I can kill it, once I can get that first one out of the way, it's like I calm down. It's like, okay, you still know how to do this. You still know what you're doing. But it just sometimes getting to that point, and you may be running out of time to have a spectacular season, but you still got to sit back. The main thing is don't look at social media. Don't pay attention to everybody that's maybe rubbing it in your face or picking on you or whatever. Because once you get in your head about it, that's it. You're done. You're not gonna come back from it. And like I said, 2019, I didn't kill a single turkey. 2020 rolled around, I killed 4 in the first week, including that one in there that I got mounted. And I doubled with a buddy of mine on a Saturday, I killed that turkey on a Saturday, and then Sunday morning I doubled with a friend of mine that next day. And I mean, like I said, you just have years where you get it like that and you don't. But the main thing is you got to keep going and don't get in your head about it. Don't pay attention to what everybody else is doing and sit there and just enjoy the hunt, because you only get a certain amount of time. It's not like deer season where it's, long and drug out. You get, like us, you get 45 days, and if you work, those 45 days are cut way in half. Unless you sneak a little hunt in, but most people have Saturday and Sunday to hunt. That's it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I haven't killed a turkey in 2 years, I think, but I go and I've watched numbers die the past 2 years. I like to, don't get me wrong, I like to pull the trigger, but I like to call them and I like to work them. And I like hunting with my dad. My dad, he loves it. He gets all worked up, and every time his famous words are, as soon as he shoots, because I'm filming, as soon as I shoot, he's like, don't tell nobody where, though. He's always on that.
Me and my dad hunt 2 places, and I don't guess he ever got this part down. He'll tell me about a turkey, and I'll go in there and I'll kill him, and I won't tell him anything I hear. But he also shot a turkey out from under me on my 16th birthday, and I've never forgave him for that. Trip had 3 beards, 1.25 spurs, weighed like 24 pounds. And I was like,
My God.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. Oh, and I'll pay him back like I said, he'll tell me about a turkey, and I'll go in there and kill it. And there's one place I hunt that's got this old car, and every time I kill a turkey, I put him up on that car and take a picture, and then I'll post it on Facebook, and he'll see it, and he said, I can't have nothing. I can't have nothing. I said, quit telling me about them.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, no, so I appreciate the heck out of you doing this. I'm sorry about the scheduling and trying to get this all figured out, but I'm glad we were able to link up and get it done and everything. And hopefully I'll stay in touch with you in that and see how your deer season goes. Hopefully it goes the way I'm hoping for you. I'm rooting for you on that, Bach.
Me too. That's going to be I can't wait to show that one to the public.
Oh my goodness. I don't blame you there at all. Holy cow. But no, what's that?
Game and Fish will probably be investigating me by then, because I've never really killed many big bucks, and then all of a sudden I started killing a couple big deer, and then I'm like, you're doing something different. Yeah.
And I like your idea though, of keeping it hush hush till everything's said and done. Though that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I've got a select few friends that 2 of us or 3 of us has got a group chat that we send them in. In fact, one of my buddies, Mason, we can look at each other's pictures on Tacticam. We share pictures and all, but other than that, there's only a few people I've told. So
yeah. Well, shit. Well, I'm rooting for you. I'll keep in touch with you when deer season gets a little closer and everything, and we'll go from there. But thank you again. I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah.
man, I enjoyed it.